If you're thinking of installing a video doorbell, there may be more hurdles than you realise. Let's look into this. Hi, welcome to the Mammoth Tech Show. I'm Jeff, and if you believe the advertising, then installing a video doorbell is really easy. Just fix it next to your door, install the app, and you are good to go. But there are a number of hidden hurdles and issues that you may not have thought about initially. So let's talk about this. Video doorbells like this one have become very popular, but it isn't just a question of installing the hardware. These things run over the internet, and there are therefore a number of issues on the back end that you need to think about. These video doorbells are basically little internet video cameras, and therefore your internet service needs to be good enough to be able to use them. The problem is that internet services usually just advertise their download speeds. However, it's the upload speed that we need to worry about in order to get an internet video camera or an internet video doorbell running properly. So your internet could be perfectly good enough to be downloading good quality HD video, but if you try to upload it, it doesn't work. Why is that? Well, it's all to do with the A in ADSL. It stands for asynchronous. That's because the bandwidth you're allocated by your ISP or internet service provider isn't evenly split between upload and download. It's always biased towards download because that's what most people use most. You might be getting, say, 15 megabytes download, but only 2 upload. Your upload speed may be a tenth or less of your download speed, and therefore not able to use a HD camera. Of course, this isn't just an issue for video doorbell. It affects all your uploads, including if you wanted to, say, stream on Twitch, for example. So what do you need to do? Well, basically you just need to run a speed test. Basically, if you've got fiber internet, then you should be okay. But if you've got normal vanilla broadband, then it might not be a goer. You need to run a speed test on your line, making sure that nothing else is going on in the background. No one's streaming any video or running online games or anything like that, just the speed test. And then check the figure that's probably in much smaller text that happens after the main download speed, the upload speed, and if that's about 10 megabits a second or better, you should be okay. Wireless home broadband is really just designed to be just there, in your home. And the thing about a doorbell is it is supposed to be just outside your home, stuck on the front door. But that wall, that thing that's keeping up the roof and making sure that you don't get wet when it rains, that could really interfere with the Wi-Fi. Even if you've got the speed to run your video doorbell, if your Wi-Fi signal can't get to the front door, and specifically just outside that front door, then you're really not going to be able to use one. What you need to do here is just test the signal from your Wi-Fi. Luckily, your internal Wi-Fi isn't biased like the outside signal is, therefore down and up should be about the same. So if you run a video on your phone or tablet and make sure that it's definitely using the Wi-Fi signal and doesn't go over onto a mobile internet signal without you noticing, maybe turn off your mobile data for this test, and then stand where you want the video doorbell to be installed. If you get a steady picture with continuous sound, no breakup in the audio or video, then you should be okay. What we found was that the wireless couldn't get from where the wireless router lives to the front door. So we installed one of these mesh routers extensions. You'll get 2 or 3 pods and you can put them around the house, and they act like little cell phone towers, and they talk to each other and act as little additional broadcast points for your signal. And if you use one of these stations near where you want the video doorbell to be installed, that should get the signal there. You can also use wireless range extenders and other things like that. But we found that the mesh wireless system worked best for us. But have a look around and see what suits yourself and your budget. You've got Wi-Fi out to your front door, but there is a little last gotcha that can catch you out, and that's power. Models will vary. Some will use a battery, some will run over the doorbell power, and some can use both. This one, for instance, must have a doorbell wire because it doesn't have a battery. Obviously, just using a battery makes installation a lot easier. You don't need to fuss with wires, but then you do need to remember to charge that battery every so often, because a video doorbell with no power is not a lot of use. You won't know when people are at the front door. If you're going to use the power from your doorbell wire, then you do need to be careful, because sometimes this is just low voltage 5 or 12 volts, and sometimes it's higher voltage. So you need to make sure that the doorbell is wired incorrectly and is expecting to get the voltage that it receives. If it's expecting 5 or 12 volts and suddenly gets 120 or 240, then that will be a bad day for your video doorbell. Obviously, using the existing doorbell wire is more convenient and means that you don't need to change the batteries. But unless you're qualified and really know what you're doing, it's probably best to get a qualified electrician in to make sure that when it is wired up, your video doorbell doesn't just go bang and allow all the magic blue smoke to come out. Internet-powered video doorbells can be very useful. However, their installation isn't quite as ABC as the ads would have you believe. You might need to do a bit of legwork and a bit of looking things up before you can make sure that, yep, this will work. So if you do that background work, then the installation should be a lot easier and you shouldn't encounter those unexpected issues. If you found this video useful, please give it a like, and if you'd like to see more from us and haven't done so already, why not subscribe? I've been Jeff, talking about video doorbells, and this has been the Mammoth Tech Show, and you've been very kind to watch. Thank you very much.